Let's get the countdown going with no further ado. 3, 2, 1. Tetris level 18 start. Classic Tetris Monthly Challenger Circuit round number 1. Seeds 7 and 10, Tetrasaurus and Yusif. Today we got an awesome match here today. Oh dang. Vandweller cheers 100 bits. Hype train is happening right now. And you know what else is happening? This game is happening. Let's give a bit of background on these players. Tetrasaurus is a 1.1 tap main from the UK. And Yusif is a 1.2 tap main from Azerbaijan. I've never seen a player from Azerbaijan before. I'm never going to get that pronunciation right, unfortunately. So, awesome to have such a wide range of players from all over the world come to compete here in the game we all know and love as Tetris. So far, looks like Tetrasaurus was playing perfect, but it has a hole in the stack and is going to have to burn down a little bit. Yusif kind of high up here. Would really like a J piece. Going to use the line instead to clear that out. I'm just going to barely get the long bar over. 2 long bars right next to each other is going to really help. Tetrasaurus with a nice Tetris setup here on the left side, left well Tetris. Still set up for it. Gonna get it. Still has a hole at the bottom of the stack there. Might try to burn it down or play one off the bottom. Let's see what they decide to do. It looks like they're gonna burn it down and play normally. Play safe. That's what you want. Oh, it looks like stencil's slightly off. I can fix that later. Alright. Haven't given a score call out yet. Tetrasaurus at 193,000 points at 45 lines. Yusif at 220,000 points at 54 lines. So Yusif a bit further ahead. That could indicate that they are playing higher up on the board and the pieces are falling faster. Had the Vits set up there. The vertical eye tuck setup. But didn't get the long bar in time. He's going to instead use 2 squares, which is just fine. Going to get the Tetris right afterwards. Tetrasaurus playing very well right now. Has a pretty traditional setup here, although not quite Tetris ready. Had a nice sloping board for a while there. Now is playing very flat. Oh wow, Yusif with that crazy tap over to the left to get that long bar over, and he's not even rolling. Is that still a thing, or is that cringe now? Whatever. It's true, he's not rolling. That was a tap. That was insane. An L piece and a J piece are going to help him out with his stack, and he's going to get a Tetris right there. 340,000 points for Yusif, 340,000 points for Tetrasaurus. So very, very close game so far. Yusif going to use the line bar to fill that well that was forming in the middle of his stack. Tetrasaurus also has a long bar dependency. It's going to burn it away instead. That S piece is going to help. And looks like they can get Tetris ready with the T piece, and is going to get a Tetris right there. 389,000 points for Tetrasaurus, 412,000 points for Yusif. Yusif still a few lines ahead, but still very close match overall. So right now we're at about 100 lines, and this is where players start thinking about the next step, which is transition. Transition is at 130 lines, where the speed at which the pieces fall increases significantly, and it becomes much more difficult to play consistently and high up on the board, even for players like this. So they're going to be watching their stacks, making sure nothing gets too out of hand. Both players about 15 lines away, little under 15 lines away. Tetrasaurus with a nice adjustment there. Getting some good pieces. Ooh, Yusif with the last second chooses not to take a triple and is going to instead... Wow, he's really not taking triples, is he? He's playing really high up right now. Just manages to get the long bar over to left. Needs something on the left. Oh, manages to fill it out. But can they get anything over? That was a crazy double that they took there. They're playing really high up and dangerously right now. And he's one line away from transition. And he's not going to be able to make it to transition. He's going to top out at 556,000 points. Tetrasaurus actually tied the score just now. And with that, Tetris is going to take game number 1. If Tetris bot works, 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Game number 2. I have not missed the hearts this time. We are going right into game number 2. Yusif with 2 tuck setups right off the bat. Oh, what is going on here on Yusif's side? Right off the bat, having some trouble. But nothing serious. They can burn out of this, but it's going to be that pace, which might, well, you know, early burns, they're not really a big deal. Early burns, you can take them. What matters more are the burns that you take later in the game, and how you strategize. And I apologize if I'm getting some frame drops right here. I'm not sure what's going on. That might have been on my end, might have been on Yusif's end. Not entirely sure. But we got the games going right here. Oh, I didn't adjust Tetrasaurus' stencil. I'll do that next. Remind me to adjust the stencil. Man, I cannot speak today. Alright, Yusif gets a perfect J piece to fill up that dependency there created by the long bar. It's going to be playing nice and high, nice and safe, just like they like it. 2 Tetrises, 2 quick Tetrises. Tetrasaurus with a really high S spin, and is going to get the Tetris right afterwards. Those high spins can be really tricky, because you're usually used to timing a spin lower on the board, and Yusif gets a dirty Tetris there. Thought I should mention that. The timing for spin is usually something you know low on the board, but not so much high on the board, so it's definitely takes some hand-eye coordination and some smart plays to get those tucks to work that high on the board, and is very risky, of course, because if you miss that spin so high up, bad things could happen to you. But Tetrasaurus doing really well right now, 218,000 points at 52 lines. Yusif also doing well, 239,000 points at 53 lines. So Yusif with about a 1 Tetris lead here at around 50 lines. And monthly Tetris 2 with the raid of 28. Welcome. We got Classic Tetris Monthly Challengers Circuit event, round number 1. We have just started with Tetrasaurus versus Yusif. Yusif had a top out around transition and allowing Tetrasaurus to take game number 1, excuse me. And we are on to game number 2 now. Hype for this hopefuls bracket. This is Challengers, baby. Yes, I noticed that as well, Fool Thrice. Tetrasaurus with the Xbox controller. I'm guessing that the buttons might be more consistent than that of an old NES controller. That might be the reason but it's definitely unusual. But still, of course, not against the rules. Any controller, just as long as you don't use turbo. Alright, 388,000 points at 92 lines for Tetrasaurus, 422,000 points at 87 lines for Yusif. Yusif putting up a monstrous pace right now. But it's playing really high on the board, takes a triple. It's going to use that T-piece to resolve the overhang. Nice J-piece to clear it down a little bit, but Tetrasaurus is getting really high. Needs to get some stuff over to the left, had to pile up high on the right side. Manages to get that long bar to the left, to the right, excuse me. Now needs to get something over to the left and is not going to be able to get the long bar over to the left. I don't think they can burn down any more lines. This would be a roller moment, but it's not going to happen. Tetrasaurus is going to top out at 421,000 points, and Yusif is good for game number 2. Let's get the countdown going. 3, 2, 1. Tetris, game number 3, tied set right now. Okay, Yusif manages to resolve that line dependency over on the left there. I'm just going to get the Tetris right afterwards. Tetrasaurus, no problems on their end. Set up for a triple, looking to make it a Tetris. Set up for the Tetris. Waiting for the long bar, maybe a little bit of a drought, but just going to get the long bar. Uses the S piece to create a square overhang. It's going to work out over there. Yeah, if you don't get the piece in time, you can just tuck a piece and set up another tuck with that piece. Totally viable, totally works. And another intentional tuck setup from Tetrasaurus there. Really trying to play efficiently, not wanting to give Yusif any runway, any room like last game. Although last game was pretty close, I think. I honestly don't remember. Alright. 128,000 points for Tetrasaurus. 130,000 points for Yusif. At about the same line as well. Now 150,000 points for Tetrasaurus. So Tetrasaurus with about a 1 Tetris lead. Alright, Tetrasaurus gets nice square and flat line burn to get rid of that delayed burn. Yusif with an interesting overhang setup. Looking for the right pieces here. Doesn't wait for the S. Now has a few holes in the stack that I have to deal with. Oh, but Tetrasaurus up high as well. Tetrasaurus is going to top out at 202,000 points. And Yusif at 207,000 points is good for game number 3. Three, two, one. Tetris. Game number 4, Yusif up 1 game, looking to take the match 3-1. Tetrasaurus looking to push this to a decider. Little Cute Hannah says, if the match were same piece sets, none of this would happen. Actually, all players, I found this out when I was looking up these players. All of these players are capable of same piece sets. But then I realized that that I don't know if they do that in challengers or not. I don't know. Maybe it's not efficient, or they want to keep some consistency. I didn't really know, so I didn't ask. Maybe I should have asked. They can? All right. Well, I'll set that up for the next match then, but choose not to. Got it. All right, Yusif playing up high once again. Yusif playing really high right now, managing to get pieces over to the left, but forced to take some burns. Yeah, I've noticed Yusif plays really high. You can see he's ahead in lines, which is an indication that the pieces have been falling, have less distance to fall, and that's the reason he's ahead. So ahead in lines, but Tetrasaurus with the score lead, 164,000 points for Tetrasaurus, 150,000 points for Yusif. Yeah, Tetrasaurus with a good pace here. Very respectable, 211,000 at 43 lines. Tetrasaurus playing very flat once again. And then if you're Tetrasaurus in this scenario, you have to balance your aggression with safe play. Because if you don't play aggressive enough, then Yusif could take the match. But if you play too aggressive and top out early, you can't score points after you've topped out. So you have to make sure you don't top out early. Alright, 284,000 points for Tetrasaurus, 269,000 points for Yusif. Hey now, well, not anymore, but it was hey nowable. I just missed it. Make sure to only top out at the right time, that is correct. Tactical top out, that should be a thing. It's like, has anyone here played Bed Wars? It's like voiding. Oh, that was a tactical void. You just say that when you get knocked off. I think I'm missing... I missed a follow there. Let me look. Thank you, Shlummy, for the follow. Thank you very much. Won't make it easier in this case because Ren has got a stall. Yeah, I remember watching commentators watching. Why can't I remember their names? I know Chris Tang. I remember Chris Tang. And that's embarrassing. I should know their names. As a classic Tetris player, it's obligatory. But I remember seeing the two famous commentators commentating while, you know, always having something to talk about and thinking, oh, I could definitely do that. Then I did my first restream and I was like, guys, hello, this is Rens, and today we're going to be doing Tetris. And it was just really boring because I had no idea what to do. These are your professional colleagues as a commentator. They are pros. They're great at what they do. They really make the games enjoyable to watch for sure. Tetrasaurus with a really high left here manages to get the square for the tuck. He's going to get the Tetris. 587,000 points at 121 lines. Set up for a 600k transition. Yusif not doing too bad himself. and gets the long bar for the 617,000 point transition. We got a double 600k transition if Tetrasaurus can transition here. Tetrasaurus manages to get a 635,000 point transition, but is going to have a lot of difficulty up at the top. Needs a long bar right now, manages to get it, brings the stack down just a little bit, but needs to get pieces over to the left. So close, but not going to be able to recover. 640,000 points is where Tetrasaurus tops out, and Yusif takes game number 4 and the match. Learn more words besides insane? Bruh.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.